there lived a young man named Obinna. To the world, he was the definition of success. By the age of 32, Obinna owned 5 flourishing companies, 2 major real estate firms, an oil supply business, a transport company, and a chain of hotels that spread from Enugu to Port Harcourt. He drove the latest Mercedes Maybach, his wrist adorned with gold and diamond watches, his fingers heavy with expensive rings. He moved with an intimidating aura that silenced his elders. Whenever he attended town meetings or church harvests, the chiefs would say, "Ah, Obinna is here. That boy is highly favored." But in whispered conversations, people asked, how did he get such wealth at his young age? What is his secret? Yet no one dared ask him directly. His generosity blinded them. He funded water boreholes in villages, donated millions to churches, sponsored widows and orphans. His wealth seemed to overflow. Obinna's wife, Adamma, was the jewel of Nsukka. She was only 27, but her elegance surpassed her age. Her skin glowed like fresh palm oil under the morning sun. She wore royal blue and gold George wrappers imported from India, Italian gold necklaces, and Versace perfumes that announced her presence before she entered any room. Women in Nsukka envied her. They whispered, "That girl is lucky. She married a young billionaire. Her children will never suffer in this life." But behind her charming smile and expensive clothes lay deep sorrow and confusion. 4 years, she lived in darkness about her husband's true identity. When they first married, everything seemed perfect. Obinna treated her like a queen. He bought her a brand new Lexus SUV as a wedding gift. Their wedding was the talk of the entire Southeast, a carnival of wealth, culture, and music. Guests went home with souvenirs ranging from kitchen blenders to brand new mobile phones. Their wedding cake alone was taller than a grown man. But it didn't take long for Adamma to notice something was very wrong. Whenever she wanted to be intimate with her husband, he would pour her a special glass of wine. He would smile and say, "My queen, drink and relax yourself tonight." And every time she drank it, she would wake up the next morning with a faint headache and no memory of the night before. She would feel tired but oddly satisfied, believing her husband had been with her. What she didn't know was that Obinna never touched her consciously. Instead, after she passed out, he would rise from bed, draw heavy black curtains to cover the windows, light 7 red candles in each corner of the room, sprinkle black powder beneath their bed, and chant incantations in a language older than Igbo itself. Moments later, the room would turn icy cold. A shadowy spirit would appear, tall, dark, faceless, with blazing red eyes. It was this spirit that slept with Adamma every night. This was the secret of Obinna's wealth. When Obinna was 25, struggling to make ends meet as an apprentice in Onitsha, he became desperate to escape poverty. One evening, as he sat outside his boss's shop calculating how long it would take to build his own life, an old friend named Chuka approached him. Chuka had dropped out of secondary school, yet somehow he was driving a brand new Toyota Highlander and wearing Rolex watches. Obinna asked him, "Chuka, tell me the truth. How did you make it?" Chuka looked around, lowered his voice, and said, "It's not ordinary, my brother. If you are ready to do what I did, you will never lack money again in your life." Obinna, desperate and tired of poverty, replied immediately, "I am ready." Chuka smiled and told him to meet him at midnight. That night, they traveled deep into the forests of Anambra. The moon was hidden behind heavy clouds, and the only light came from Chuka's torch. They reached a mud shrine surrounded by eerie silence. Inside sat a native doctor with dreadlocks so long they swept the floor. His eyes were bloodshot. Goat skulls, calabashes filled with dark liquids, and ancient charms lined the walls. Native doctor asked Obinna, "Young man, you want money?" Obinna said, "Yes, Baba. I am ready to do anything." The native doctor nodded slowly, as if peering into Obinna's soul. "This is not ordinary money ritual. This is wealth that will make governors bow to you, pastors call you blessed, and your name echo across Nigeria. But there is a price." Obinna swallowed hard and asked, "What is the price, Baba?" The native doctor leaned forward, his breath hot with herbs and blood, and told Obinna, "Your wife must belong to the spirit. Every night, this spirit will come to sleep with her. You must never sleep with her as husband and wife. If you do, the covenant will break, and everything you own will vanish. To renew the ritual monthly, you will sleep with a mad woman once every full moon. Obinna felt his body shake, but greed overshadowed his fear. He agreed. That night, they performed the rituals. A large python was killed, its blood poured into a black calabash. Obinna drank it. The native doctor cut his thumb, mixed his blood with Obinna's blood, and poured it on a carved wooden idol. From that day, Obinna's life changed. His Oga's business caught fire mysteriously, forcing him to go out on his own. Contracts began to flow into his hands like river water. Women chased him, banks called him for loans, and landlords begged him to buy their properties. But his nights were filled with darkness and spiritual coldness. Years passed. Adamma, unaware of the covenant, noticed her husband always avoided touching her unless she drank his wine. But she ignored her suspicions, grateful for the wealth, luxury, and public respect. Then came the day she discovered she was pregnant. Tears of joy filled her eyes. She knelt down and thanked God for remembering her. Adamma said, "Thank you for giving me my husband's child." Little did she know that the child she carried was not Obinna's. It was the spirit's child. On their 7th wedding anniversary, Obinna threw a lavish party in their mansion. Senators, governors, business moguls, and popular pastors filled their home. Gifts piled so high in their living room it looked like a warehouse. Praise singers hailed Adamma, the queen of the richest man in Saka. But that night, Adamma decided it was time to reclaim her marriage. As she cleared the kitchen after dinner, she saw Obinna's bottle of sedatives hidden behind the wine rack. Her hands trembled. "So it's true, he has been drugging me all these years." Tears fell down her cheeks, but anger burned hotter than her sorrow. She remembered the special sedative she got from the pharmacy earlier that week, stronger than anything Obinna used. She crushed it into his favorite Hennessy cognac and stirred. Obinna drank it with pride, unaware of her plan. Within minutes, he slumped on the leather sofa, snoring softly. Adamma dragged him gently into their bedroom. She removed his suit, tie, wristwatch, and shoes. Then she undressed herself and lay beside him. That night, for the first time since their marriage, she slept with her husband consciously. In the spirit realm, chaos erupted. The spirit appeared instantly, roaring like 1,000 waterfalls. Its blazing eyes turned blood-red with rage, and told Obinna, "You have broken the vow. You allowed your flesh to touch what belongs to me. Everything you own will be taken away, even the son your wife bore for you. He is mine." Obinna woke up screaming, sweat soaking his bedsheets. He saw his clothes scattered and turned to Adamma, trembling. "What happened last night? Did we do anything together?" Adamma asked, "What kind of question is that? Can't I sleep with my own husband any time I want?" Obinna fell to his knees, tears pouring down his face. He said, "What have you done, Adamma? You have destroyed everything." From that day, his businesses began to collapse. Partners pulled out without explanation. Bank accounts were frozen for fraud investigations. His cars were seized by creditors. His mansion was auctioned to settle debts. Then tragedy struck. Their son fell mysteriously ill. Every doctor they saw, in Enugu, Abuja, Lagos, and even Dubai, said the same thing. "We can't find anything wrong with him. His organs are shutting down without reason." After weeks of intense suffering, the child died in Adamma's arms. Her screams that night could shatter the hardest heart. In desperation, Obinna ran to the village to see the native doctor. But on reaching the shrine, he found it deserted. Villagers told him, "The native doctor died 3 days ago." That night, the spirit appeared in his room, tearing his clothes, flogging him with unseen whips. His cries for mercy filled the silent mansion. He could neither sleep nor eat. The torment was endless. Adamma, unable to cope with poverty and madness, packed her things and left him. She returned to her father's house, broken and empty, her beauty fading in sorrow. Obinna roamed the streets barefoot, with torn clothes, mumbling to himself. The same people who once called him blessed now pointed at him with pity. See what greed and evil has done to him. Everything he gathered vanished in a twinkle of an eye, just as the spirit vowed. Dear listener, remember, the love of money is the root of all evil. What shall it profit a man to gain the whole world and lose his soul? Seek wealth with clean hands and godly wisdom, not shortcuts that will destroy your life, your family, and your eternity.